There have been countless Pokémon games, from the mainline to the spin-offs to whole parallel franchises. There are titles that have been bestsellers, but some that were forgotten by history. One of these is Pokémon Battle Revolution for the Nintendo Wii, that disappointed reviewers and the sell department. But was Pokémon Battle Revolution a failed experiment, or was it at the wrong place at the wrong time? After 16 long years, did time make this game justice? Roll the intro. Before the Nintendo Switch release in 2017, Game Freak always stood a mile and a half away from home consoles, avoiding at all costs to develop titles for Nintendo hardware that wasn't portable. Yet occasionally, other software houses such as Genius Sonority were given the license to develop games for the GameCube, like Pokémon XD, and today's protagonist, Pokémon Battle Revolution for the Nintendo Wii. The adventure starts in Poketopia, Pokémon Las Vegas, where role-playing elements are nowhere to be seen, just battles at their purest form. In this entry, there are no catching and training Pokémon. You have to transfer your team from another mainline game like Pokémon Diamond, Pearl or Platinum. Battle Revolution puts battle at the core of the experience, being rich in numerous colosseums, all of which have different tournament structures and even rules in order to flavor up the experience. Once the champ is beaten, the game becomes exponentially tougher and more rules and fun modes are introduced. There is praise to be given to how Battle Revolution deals with Pokémon battles. The Colosseums add a great variety on how the player can experience tournaments, batting grid systems, ranking, group stage, and even conditions and fun gimmicks. Poketopia is, in the words of my wise brother, a glorified battle frontier. While the game does not offer much apart from battling, the level of personalization was much greater than other available Pokémon titles. Customizable clothes, characters, dialogue options, multiple save files were neat additions that were introduced to the core games only after 10 years, not to mention the ability to play online with random people, a feature that now we give for granted. Battle Revolution has impressive graphics considering both the year of production and the console it runs on. It is absurd to think that the only Pokémon game that looks better to this day is Pokémon Tournament, not quite Pokémon Title 2. I'd rather watch these colorful and shining arenas than the empty lands of legends. The Pokémon model looks smooth, made with precision and care, dynamic and above all, full of life. They aged a bit, but considering the antiquated hardware, Sonority made the impossible possible. And talking about smoothness, those animations, look at them! Incredibly rich in motion, uniqueness and even charm and fun. Look at Haunchok tipping his hat, that's classy. It is hard to believe that back in 07, Pokémons were charged with expressions, something that 2019's Pokémon Sword and Shield lack without grace. To give a swing to duels, developers added a somewhat dynamic narrator, voiced by Roger Parson, voice actor that worked in the original Pokémon anime back in the 90s. No introduction of mine can do him justice. So Roger, hit it!
Poketopia Main Street Coliseum. Knockout Battle. Battle 1. What kind of battle can we expect from the challenger this time? From the blue corner, Honchkrow. And from the red corner, Raichu. Here they come. But the attacker is down as well. Taken down by an intense blow. Murkrow desperately holds on. The game is now over. It's a total victory for the blue corner.
Parson makes battling more exciting than ever. His lines are not even too generic, he goes into detail when it comes to describe the battle. I'm pleasantly shocked that the developers went that extra mile. Sure, he does have some repeated lines, but you gotta admit that not only this is a sign of dedication, but also a neat feature that is absent to games like Pokémon Sword and Shield, where gyms are the fulcrum of the game. All qualities listed can be described with many adjectives, but the one that I like to use the most is personality. The game is rich in personality, everything it does fits sublimely with the content and style the game adopts. In Poketopia, there are no Pokémon trainers, but athletes ready to prove their strength and skills on turf. No grinding is needed since all Pokémon are on the same level. Pokémon Battle Revolution is still to this year, 16 years later, the best experience to have Pokémon battles in. From the visuals to the animations and even to the fun audio. True, the game doesn't feature a story or a region, but it sets a high bar for how Pokémon battles should be played and felt by the trainer. All innovations that developers at Sonority introduced were decades ahead of Game Freak's. It would be dishonest for me not to mention in this retrospective of Pokémon Battle Revolution one crucial number that defined its lack of long-term success: 53. The game current, and I suppose forever, score on Metacritic. But how come? Wasn't this title a pioneer of the best-selling franchise? Needless to say that there were some shortcomings that I need to explain. First, and probably the most important point, is the price the game had at launch. Just like the Metascore, the game was $50 at launch, full retail price back then. Like said in the introduction, the game was not an epic JRPG. it essentially only had battles and little more. Diamond and Pearl did not have the battle frontier, but Sapphire did, and Platinum soon introduced it, so playing full price for a half Pokémon experience was not a good omen. The game was far more like an add-on, something that didn't quite click with the audience. Think about it, if you were supposed to use your already developed team, but what's the point of buying another €50 game just to battle more gyms when you can already do that in the main game you already have? Sure, the 3D graphics were cool and all, but the average consumer did not think this was enough to cash in another $50. Furthermore, the online features, even if bigger in scope than the DS, barely worked. Now I can't test the feature myself since the old Nintendo network is done for good, but reading all reviews and remembering my own experience, it wasn't the best. The game focused only on battling, so having the online not working as intended is a major concern that can't be ignored. All in all, Pokémon VR had flaws, much of which gained weight due to the high price tag the game had at launch. Having said that, Pokémon Battle Revolution had a solid base, achieving quite a lot with few resources, and no wait, we can't ignore this last point in this review, can we? Quite the opposite in fact, we need to answer the one question you probably clicked this video for. Did Sonority's title beat Game Freak? Or more specifically, is this better than this? Alright, before we start I'll make this very clear. I did not play Pokémon Sword and Shield, nor did I play Pokémon Legend Arceus, but I did my fair share of research to get a general grasp of the quality of both titles. As explained, the scope of these three games varies differently, yet it is unreal to observe how, graphically and animation wise, the 16-year apart games are not far off. I know that the media response of many Pokémon fans will be something along the lines of it's easy for Pokémon Battle Revolution to have better graphics and animations than Pokémon Legends because that game only had stadiums or in a full explorable region, Fox. And yeah, sure, that's a valid point, but in 2007 the first Assassin's Creed came out too, and it would be impossible to even compare it to the new entries. I do not wish to talk trash about Game Freak for the sake of it. Again, I did not play the most recent games and hence I'm not qualified to judge them properly. However, it is undeniable that Battle Revolution holds quite sublimely even to this day. Look at the background footage. If this game would have been developed today, it would have been the best looking game of Pokémon, full stop. Fans have the bad habit to assume a game can be either an RPG or have impressive graphics. However, the two do not need to exclude each other out, and it's stubborn for Game Freak to ignore the progress made by Sonority, especially considering that post-game content like the Battle Frontier has been snapped out of the remakes of Pokémon Diamond and Pearl, for no good reason. Battle Revolution received poor reviews not to a lack of quality or passion, but for the small scope it had in comparison to its full price. A digital version of the game at a lower price would have certainly increased the appeal of the game. Now, it would be obsolete to play a game like this because mainline games are already in home consoles, but an official Pokémon game with high quality animations and interesting tournament mechanics is still missing. Pokémon has become an echo chamber of many experiences, and I must assume that the new Pokémon Scarlet and Violet will further develop the adventure style of Legends gameplay. Having a separate digital software where you could regroup all Pokémons from your different games, from all different regions, from all different generations into one place is something fans would not mind. With apps like Pokémon Home where you can deposit Pokémons from all sort of games, a place where you can log in and battle online is a must. Heck, Pokémon fans have created Pokémon Showdown for this very reason. A Pokémon Battle Revolution 2, if well done, could be the next big hit. Pokémon Battle Revolution, in my modest opinion, is a game with the best of premises, but had the misfortune of not implementing such ideas in a way that the public would appreciate them. €50 for some new gyms and 3D graphics was a high mark. A more approachable €20 game as a service type of product would have been certainly much more successful in today's market. Game Freak has the bad habit of not looking back when developing the next game, especially if the game flopped. Yet in Sonority's experiment, there is much to learn from, and I like playing Pokémon Battle Revolution one more time 16 years after the launch. Give this game a shot, perhaps you will like it as well. If you made it this far, I want to thank you one Pokémon battle too many times for watching today's video. I might not have played the latest Pokémon games, but I am still a Pokémon fan, and I'm glad I finally talked about what I believe to be one of the most underrated games of the franchise. Did you play VR? Did you like it? Let me know down in the comments, and I wish you a wonderful day. Arrivederci.